Welcome to episode 29 of Hotfix podcast. And truth be told, Jeremy and I had a very difficult time thinking of the topic today, which usually we know what we're talking about before we get here, but we were both had busy life weeks at work, and we got here and we're like, what do we do? We talked to producer Gabby, and she's like, you guys should talk about exactly that. Like how, as a content creator, when you feel like demotivated or you just can't think of ideas to do, like what are things that you can do to get over it?
You know, the best thing about this whole, like if you didn't say what we were talking about, the tone of your voice just screams a lack of motivation. And it's not a lack of motivation in that it's not enjoying what you're doing. It's more so, like you said, the week was so hectic that there wasn't time to really plan and pay attention to what's been going on and really come up with great ideas. So then you're kind of put in a position where it's like it's a back against the wall kind of situation, right? It's like, hey, you have to do something. And then it's like, damn, like Abby said, it's like, what a great thing to talk about. It's just like, what do you do in those situations? What do you do when streaming or whatever your content creation may be starts to feel like a job and not something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I think it's important to know that like this happens to everybody. Doesn't matter if you're PewDiePie with a bajillion subs or you're us who's just getting started. Like sometimes you're going to hit a wall. You're going to have so-called writer's block.
Absolutely.
And you're just going to not want to do it. And so we talked about earlier about like it's good to take breaks as a content creator, but sometimes you can't. Like you can only take, if you want to be a content creator, you kind of balance your breaks to your work.
100%. And speaking of breaks, here's the intro.
Welcome to Hotfix, the weekly podcast that dives into the fascinating world of streaming, gaming, and esports. With your hosts, Brant Vladichuk and Jeremy Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hotfix Podcast, episode number 29. As Brant was saying before I so rudely interrupted him with a much-needed segue.
I was going to totally forget about the intro.
You were on it, dude, and I feel a little bit bad for breaking it up.
I'm just never going to talk again.
All right, well,
you got that one moment of me talking.
That was it. That was your one time to shine. I said, hell nah, dude. This is done. All me. This is the Shady Lurker podcast.
It's the hot Jeremy wait, what?
Excuse me. What? But yes, we wanted to talk about, full disclosure, we showed up here and it was just like work was hectic as hell and life was hectic as hell this week for both of us, and we showed up here. It's just like usually when I pop in, it's like, so what are we going to talk about today? And like we both have like 3 or 4 different ideas. It's like, yeah, we can do some of these, and we just kind of, let's do that today, and we just go with it. And like, we're 29 episodes in. There's never even been like a second of hesitation for like what we're going to talk about. And today it was like initially it was like, bro, I don't have a fucking clue. Like I actually don't have an idea. And then it's like, okay, let's get a cup of coffee, and then let's like have a drink or two, and let's just hang out for a minute and like spitball things and see what happens. We were sitting here and just like, man, I got nothing. And then, like, thankfully, Gabby came to the rescue and was like, yo, there's, like, exactly what you're talking about. Like, that's the topic. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it is the topic because, we have spoke about before that, like, there will be times where you don't want to stream that day, or you're down on yourself for lack of progression or less viewers, or just the short-term goals you set for yourself aren't really working out the way you had anticipated them to. And this isn't one of those situations. Like I think like we're not like, our podcast isn't doing very well, this is stupid. Like it's not one of those things at all. It was more so just like, bro, I haven't had like a second to breathe this week. It's like now you're like, you have to make content. It's not like, I mean, we're not contractually obligated to make content, but like, anyone that is a content creator would know that it's like, if you want to be successful, consistency is very important. Like content is important as well, but like if you as a streamer, for example, you take a week off, all of a sudden you're losing a certain percentage of your viewers, right? Mm-hmm. So you're here, and it's like, okay, we need to do this thing, but what are we going to do? So then just having this conversation is perfect because it happens. I would, like you said in the intro there, like even to someone like PewDiePie or to a Ninja or a Shred, like I'm sure there's days where like they sit down in front of their computer and they're like, I would rather do literally anything else than turn that camera on right now and like pretend like I'm having a good time. Again, not that hanging with you isn't a good time. I fucking love it to death, like absolutely. But there is that thing that happens where it's just like, man, if you could, like, if we could just hang out tonight and just have some drinks and listen to music and have a good time, like that'd be super sick. But that's not the case, and that's like, you know, that's like a reality, I think, of making content. Like that's the thing, right?
It does get to a point where content creation, as fun as it is, will cross over to feeling like a job.
Exactly. Yeah. It becomes, you know, you start doing it because you enjoy the idea and you enjoy entertaining people, and you know you have a creativity that needs to be fed, kind of thing, right? You have that mindset where it's like, you know, if you're not doing something creative, then you feel like you're kind of stagnant and you're not really doing anything. But with that said, it definitely comes where it's just like, man, today I don't have it. And like, you know, for streaming, it's something where we've spoken a whole bunch about changing your schedule, or like not, you know, guys, I'm not going to stream on my normal Wednesday. We'll do a makeup one on Friday. Or I don't have whatever it is to sit down in front of the camera for, you know, 3 to 5 hours kind of thing and do all that. But, you know, with that said, I think the idea of this conversation is, one, it's like people need to be aware that those things happen, right? And we spoke about that like on numerous occasions, that like it needs to be talked about more, that like, you know, you can't expect that streamer or that content creator to be 100% on their game every single time without fail. Like it's as one person doing the whole thing, or for us as two people doing the whole thing, it's like it's a lot to ask. Like even if we were getting paid well to do it, it's like it's a lot. And there's, you know, sometimes some things are going to be better than others. And not that this isn't going to be a good episode, because I truly feel it is. It's more so that it's something that's just not spoken about, or it's not maybe it's frowned upon a little bit. Like the expectation of an audience especially for a big, like this is almost something for a bigger content creator.
A little bit frowned upon by a lot of people. Like, like everybody's on the grind. It's like grind culture. Like, go hard, keep going. Doesn't matter how you feel. Work.
Yeah.
You have a Monday. We have to post every Monday, so you have to post every Monday. Like,
and but then like those people don't talk about, you know, a year later when they're burnt out and they can't be bothered to even get out of bed anymore. It's like, yeah, if you don't grind, you don't shine. It's like, yeah, if you grind, you also don't get out of bed. So like there's something to be said with that, and I think there's a lot of value in. I think it's not even a value in like the content consumer. It's not even in the culture of that. It's more so, I think there's something with content creators to speak on that kind of thing more. Like that's the thing, right? It's like it's almost like a fear of showing some kind of weakness or something, which I don't think it is. It's being human, right? It's not a weakness that you're less motivated some days than you are other days.
And I think it's also important for like viewers to understand that, because I think it is becoming more acceptable.
Certainly.
But like back in the day,
all right,
I
boomer.
am 70, but like back in the day, like you couldn't take a break because fans would go ape shit. If you missed I know I was a part of that toxic viewer group, like when I was a teenager.
Right, yeah.
Just like, oh, my quote unquote, my favorite YouTuber didn't post today. Like, what the fuck? I gotta go comment and be like,
where the hell are you, dude?
Like, what are you doing? You're supposed to entertain me for free.
Yo, I bet those like big streamers and big content creators, especially people that stream every day or like, you know, 5 or 6 days a week, if they don't stream on a random day, their Twitter must just be a nightmare of like that person. Just being like, where the hell are you, man? It's 2 p.m. and I'm on my lunch break and you're not on. I watch you every single day, dude. You're ruining my work week.
Yeah, and it's It's like people get so angry, like when their free content that they've been watching for free for years is suddenly not there for a day.
It's weird. It's very strange. I mean, and like I mean, I was going to make like a weird like a $5 a month comment at the when you said the free content thing, but maybe there is something to that, like without like demanding, trying to sound like not trying to sound like demanding for cash from people or anything like that, because that's definitely not what it's about. But like, there's something to when you pay for a service and then you don't get that service, then there's a bit more of an understanding as to why you'd be pissed off. Like if you pay for cable and then there's a week where your cable is down, it's like, why am I giving you $90 a month and I didn't get the thing that I'm paying for? Like there's something to that.
I think people get that mentality when they subscribe to somebody. They think they owe the content creator now.
Oh
owes
yeah,
them.
that's absolutely a thing.
Which is pro tip: when you're subscribing or donating to a content creator, it's a donation.
Yeah, you don't owe. They don't owe you shit.
Shit.
No, but that's
and
a
if
big
you don't
thing,
like
dude.
that, if you like want that feeling of them owing you something, then just don't subscribe.
Yeah, then you need to be a better human.
Yeah.
It's not even don't subscribe to that person. It's like you need to change your mentality on how you approach just other human beings.
Yeah.
Because that's like that's all of a sudden you're like the Karen in a Starbucks being like, I asked for 2 shots of vanilla cappuccino or whatever the fuck it is. It's like
Vanilla.
There's only one in this, and you're spitting in the person's face and telling them to leave your country or something. It's like holy shit. It's like what are we talking about? It's, you know, when you subscribe to a Twitch streamer, you're only doing it because you like the content that they are producing and you understand they do it for free. So your $5 is like your showing of appreciation towards what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And hopefully they can take that money with all the other stuff and make what they're doing better.
Well, the thing is, you know, the thing about subscribing or donating or bits or even just sharing the person's channel so they to other friends so that they might get more viewers. If you really enjoy someone's content, whether they have 2 viewers or they have 20,000 viewers, you know, by donating, subscribing, helping the channel out in however way you can, you know, if you do really enjoy that, it's something worth considering if you can afford to do it, because the thing is that people spend a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of effort to make that free content. And with that time and effort, you have to also understand that like that person could be out just like working a part-time job at a pub and make way more money. But at a certain point, if you enjoy that person's content, but their growth isn't what they're hoping it's going to be, that person could stop making content, right? It's you know, there's people put a value on their own time. And whatever that value varies from person to person, but at a certain point, people could start to think, yo, this like isn't worth my time anymore, so I'm going to stop doing that. And that sucks for someone who has like, you know, even if it's a small community of 3 or 4 people, but those 3 or 4 people all of a sudden lose their content creator because that person was just like, bro, this is like this, you know, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Like,
Yeah.
especially as people grow older and they get like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever it may be, you know, if you talk about people getting married, having kids, like priorities change and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you end up with that, where that person just doesn't see the value in it anymore. And I have like friends of mine that have stopped streaming altogether because of all those kind of reasons. Right. And it's, you know, there is something to that free content versus supporting the content creator, but always understand that what you're doing by supporting them is only because you enjoy the content they create, not because I've given you $5 a month every month for the last year and a half, therefore you have to X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I feel like we're tangenting.
We definitely did go on a little bit of a
So I
tangent
think we
there,
gotta
for sure.
get a little on track here and talk about things that we do to kind of like get us back in the mindset, motivate us to do that stream, motivate us to record that episode 29 of the Hotfix podcast.
100%. 100%. And like, so what is it? Like, if you have, you wake up, you're about to start streaming, you have to go you have to start at 7 p.m. It's 6:50 and you're just like not feeling it at all. Like, what's some things that you would consider are like things that you should do in order to, motivate yourself for that day? Like, motivating yourself for that one stream is one thing, but how do you motivate yourself going forward to get out of that mindset? Like, what do you think is like?
So this is things, and I think it's very subjective. Like, you're going to have to
Of
find,
course, 100%.
everybody has their thing. Like, you gotta, anybody from the 90s is going to remember that commercial in Canada, which is going to be like our one viewer in Canada.
That one dude, yeah. Eric.
So one thing that I did was add or modify something with my stream design.
Right.
Because I think like your stream design shouldn't ever be like finished. You should always be evolving it and like making it better. Like if you look at like a really well done stream design and there's a shit ton of like a lot of things, a lot of scenes, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of people like Dr. Disrespect has like an amazing visual. It's like don't I never looked at that like end product and be like, okay, I have to build all of that and get there. It's like I want to get there eventually. So like to bring me motivation to stream, I would like make one part of that.
Right.
Change
It's
one
piece by piece.
like piece by like put one of those pieces in and it's like, okay, cool. Now I want to show this off. So I'm gonna go stream.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like you add like I remember adding just like same type of thing, being kind of just feeling a little bit stagnant with my channel, and then just like adding one new scene on my stream deck. And it's like, fuck yeah, like I look for opportunities then to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like if you have like, do you remember I added that GoldenEye Bond death thing with like the blood that comes down? I was like, man, I can't wait to die in a game. So I can like use that and like hit it, and there's like then like your chat reacts to it, and it's just like hell yeah, like that kind of thing gives you that like that energy or that like fire to be like, dude, I did this thing and I used it at the right time and it got a reaction, and you're like, hell yeah, like that's
and like that just waiting for that one thing motivated you.
Yeah.
I was like I like making like really dumb funny scenes.
right. Yeah.
So like I found these stock photos of like a nun praying to a computer and turned that into a scene that like I used once, and I was like, gotta pray to the RNG gods,
Right, yeah,
that this works, and like turn that scene on, and like my stream is on like this nun's computer monitor, and she's praying, and it has the iStock like watermark over it. Like it's so dumb, but it was so funny, and it was like I made that, and I was like, okay,
this is sick.
now I have to stream because I need to get like Jeremy in here or like my other buddy in here, so the one time like RNG fucks me and I can like pray to the RNGesus. I can go to this scene and they're gonna lose their minds. And like it's such a good motivating thing. So like,
but then what that does, like by adding that scene and then getting to use it, one, you get to be creative because you're making a new scene and you have this idea and you get to like actually build it and do the whole thing, and then you get it working and then say, okay, sick, I was productive on my stream today, that's great. But then you get to use it, and the thing is when you know it's there and you haven't used it yet, or it's like even you have used it before but it's like a new thing that you have as part of your stream, as you're streaming you start to like, I don't know if you do this or not, but like another thing I added was like I have like a laugh track that I added to my stream, right? So it's like I look for opportunities to make a really stupid joke just to use the laugh track. So like you're streaming, but you're also multitasking because you're streaming and you're playing whatever the game may be. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, where's the opportunity to use the Bond death scene or the laugh track? Or like, did something stupid happen? And you're like, oh my God, that's a perfect time for this. And just like you're kind of, that's how you're like really, you go from streaming to entertaining. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of, when you start to, if you can get out of just the, well, I'm just streaming the same game, doing the same thing again, whatever, and it's just me playing that game. But now you can start to think of these things that you've added and ways to implement them into your stream, and then all of a sudden that's more streaming to me than just turning on the camera and playing a video game.
Yeah, and that might be actually a really good piece of advice. Is I guess I did this subconsciously, but like as you're streaming and something happens, like I often go like, "Come on, like RNGesus, like bless this run."
Exactly.
So I turned that into a thing.
Exactly.
So like as you're streaming, be like, "Oh, this is a thing I do." I can turn it into a thing.
Yeah.
It's not just a thing, but it's a thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, 100%. And it's like, but then that could become part of what your channel is, and then all of a sudden you have an emote that's praying hands, and then all of a sudden then you become like a preacher, and it's like, ladies and gentlemen, as we go into this next seat, or all rise, right? As we go into the next session of this level, let us pray. And then like you have like a little prayer that you've written. That's like, you know what I mean? Like you could really take and run with that. And then all of a sudden everyone in your channel is using the praying emote, and you have your RNGesus scene, and you're reciting your prayer. It's like, now you're getting creative and you're getting entertaining, and it's something that people got to see, and they're like, dude, that was fucking dope. Like, I love that shit. And then all of a sudden, what happens is the monotony of streaming the same game, doing the same thing, not doing anything extra. All of a sudden, that like you get excited at the idea of entertaining and getting to do this new thing and creating a new thing on your channel. I think that's what it is, right? I think the lack of motivation, one, like it can come from, like you said, like you just have a super busy week and you're just tired as hell, and that can definitely be a factor, but also just like monotony and doing the same thing over and over and not evolving and not changing and getting complacent, and then all of a sudden you're just like it becomes routine. And when content creation becomes routine, that's when it starts to feel like a job. And then going to work is rarely fun, right? So I think maybe the overarching idea of this conversation is stay creative. Like, I think if you're streaming and you don't want to be creative, you might not be doing the right job.
I think,
it might be the wrong hobby.
Definitely an element to, you got to be a little creative, I think.
I think so.
I don't know. Like, there is some very non-creative streamers that are doing very well.
Yes, but then they're nutcases at video games.
True.
And right? There's everything we've ever spoken about, there's always outliers. So I guess if anyone wants to be like that commenter, they can be. Like, well, actually, this person just uses whatever, just C920 in their headset mic, and they have no scenes, and they just play League of Legends all day. And like, sure, that can definitely be a thing. There's no doubt about it. But like, I think for the most part, I feel like the idea of content creation, again, this is more on content creation as opposed to just streaming. The idea of content creation is to entertain.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And if you are entertaining, you're going to retain more people. So I think that's where you should maybe, and you know what? Maybe if you've never looked at streaming or content creation as entertainment, and you are demotivated, maybe start thinking about ways to entertain. Like, do something that's not even necessarily entertaining to the masses, but maybe just do something that's entertaining to you.
And sometimes doing
something different.
Like doing something entertaining can like also entertain yourself.
Yeah.
Like when I had like the Snapcam camera going for a few weeks because I got kind of bored. Yeah. So I had I could turn myself into a potato.
Yeah. And you're shooting, you're missing everything, you turn yourself into a potato. It's brilliant.
Yeah. It was entertaining for me because I could do that, and it was entertaining for the viewers as well.
But
they're like fucking potato, like you turn yourself into a potato.
It's hilarious. But you know what? I've heard that so many times with so many different streamers that if the streamer looks like they're having fun, the stream itself is a better place to be.
Oh, 100%,
like if that person is sitting down having a grand laugh at something, or doing something hilarious, or doing something weird, or doing something really cool, and they're genuinely, like, you can tell by the look on their face that they're enjoying what they're doing, it just makes that place a more fun space to hang out.
Yeah, like their mood is going to be reflected on you.
Absolutely, 100%. Like, do you remember? Like, do you remember when you were like when you still playing bands? I suppose, right. But like, like feeding off the audience's energy. But
Yeah.
then the opposite to that is the audience only reacts to your energy on the stage.
Yeah,
So,
it's a two-way street, 100%.
Exactly.
Like if you're in a bar and there's like some dingy grunge band
Yeah.
who's like sad on stage,
Yeah.
the entire crowd
the
is
mood
sad.
is somber. Exactly. Yeah.
But you there and you see a band, they're fucking jumping up and down, they're hyping you up, you get hyped, and then because the crowd gets hyped, the band gets more hyped,
and it's a
and
back
then
and
you
forth.
get more hyped.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then next thing you know, you get kicked out because you've
you're
moshed too fucking hard.
Exactly. But it's the same type of idea though, isn't it? Like I can guarantee like over the time of me streaming, the times where my chat has been the busiest or people have engaged the most, I've gotten the most followers during a stream, all that kind of stuff is when I've been genuinely having fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Like actually sitting there and having a good time, laughing at shit, doing stupid things, just trying out random interactions and just like getting challenged by chat to do things and just all that kind of thing where I'm actually like my cheeks hurt because I'm laughing.
Yeah.
And all that kind of thing. That's where
you turn off stream and your abs hurt because
Yeah.
you realize you've been laughing the whole
exactly.
time.
And that's where you start to have a lot of fun. So what can happen is, you know, if you are doing the same, like I guess this is almost repeating myself, but if you are doing the same thing over and over and it starts to be like, man, I'm not getting followers, I'm not having any fun, I'm just doing it because there's nothing else to do. Maybe just try something. Like maybe you're more creative than you think you are.
Do something. Okay, so that's number one. Do something creative.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for your stream. It could be like do a cool Instagram post.
There could be anything.
Make a thumbnail for that video that you've been editing for the last 3 months. Edit the video for
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
I know we all have a video that we've been working on for months that we haven't touched. Just work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
You'll get your motivation going right up.
You know, there is something. Their motivation can definitely be like you can breed motivation from being productive too, right? Like you're saying there. Like maybe it is finishing off that YouTube video. Maybe it is securing that URL or that username on whatever thing, or it's maybe it's finding new ways to make your social media posts, or maybe it's trying streaming at a different time, or maybe it's adding a new effect or a different scene or a voice changer on your microphone. Like it's
doing one thing productive can really get like a snowball effect to do more.
100%.
It's just taking that like first. I always think of Nike. Just do it.
Hey,
It's one of my favorite slogans.
I mean-
because sometimes that's exactly it. Like there is nothing that's going to kick you in the ass. You just have to do something small though.
yeah.
Do something small. Wash the dishes.
Yeah. I mean, but no, okay, but I mean, if you're talking like life advice kind of thing, is almost what you're getting into now. But there is something to that. There is something to, you know, there's that idea of, listen, if you're having a shit day, go in and make your bed.
Yeah.
Like make your bed and see how you feel afterwards.
Like this will snowball into you doing the creative stuff. Like doing something small, like just getting the dusting done.
Well, there's a mentality to forcing yourself to do the thing you don't want to do, but then giving it 100% still. Like it's that idea of of going for.
So that was the coffee machine.
Is it shutting off?
I don't know. It's never done that before. Oh yeah, no, it shut off.
Brand's coffee machine just screamed at us.
It's
But
a new
that-
coffee machine. I'm not used to it
Okay,
yet.
that's on you. But there's that idea of like, you know, if you talk about like going, like if you're trying to exercise and go out for a run, it's like it's February and it's -20. I don't want to go for a run. But then the idea of just bundling up and wearing warmer clothes and still forcing yourself to go for that run, it sucks. But then at the end of it, you feel a billion times better than you would have if you didn't do it and you just laid on the couch and ate a bowl of chips, right? It's that type of idea. It's that same type of mentality into streaming where it's like, okay, this isn't fun right now, so I'm going to force myself to do something different. I want to spend that hour to create that new scene or that new whatever it may be, and then use that and then because I'm forcing myself to be creative, now that creative energy is flowing, and that will make you feel like you're accomplishing something.
Yeah,
Right. Like, even
100%.
like, talk about this podcast, like literally this podcast we're recording at this second. Like, I'm so much more motivated to make content right now than I was 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, I feel great. Like motivation was, I think you could tell even the tone of voice. Like it was pretty low at the beginning, but like we've started, we've gotten into
Yeah,
it,
and now you're
we've
into
been
it. Yeah,
productive,
yeah.
and now I'm stoked.
But now, you know what? The idea of you saying like, create that new scene, or doing that new thing really can change your perspective and make you more motivated to get involved in the thing that you're doing. Us talking about this now just has me super excited to work on, like, after this podcast, we're working on like my stream redesign. I'm like super stoked to do that.
Yeah.
It's just like that idea. Like, now I'm like, fuck yeah, like I'm feeling super creative, and that creative energy is flowing, and it's just like it's that quick. It's something that can take just 20 minutes. Like, you force yourself to do it. You sit down, you put the mics in front of our face, we set up the scene, you turn the camera on, we start talking, and it's like, all right, well, we're here, whatever. Sick. This is what we were feeling, and it's like true. But then you get into the conversation. Now you're rolling, and it's just like, hell yeah, like let's go, and you get that motivation back straight away.
Yeah,
It's
foot in the door. Like just take that one step.
But it's breaking complacency, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think anyone that's making any kind of content, you're smart to always push yourself, and maybe that's what it is, right? It's don't rest on your laurels, don't get complacent, don't think what you're doing is good enough. Always look for ways to improve, always look for things to change, always never think you're done. That's the thing. You're whatever the content is, it's never perfect.
Yeah,
There's always room to improve.
Always.
And there's something about remembering that, okay, what can I do different? How do I improve on that last thing? Even if I streamed on Tuesday, now I'm streaming on Wednesday. It's thinking, you don't have to go back and watch the VOD. Like, you don't have to spend the 3 hours or 4 hours watching an entire VOD. But it's thinking about what you did, what went well, what didn't go well, what can I improve, what would I like to do? And then it's putting those changes into motion, even if they don't happen straight away.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? It's something worth doing, and it happens to everybody, so it's not like this is just a you and me thing that just happened to happen. That never happens to anybody. Every single person that does anything, it happens to. Like, even, think of even, I don't know, friggin' know, some artist, some musician doesn't want to go on stage. I didn't want to name anybody because it's like when I give up the ghost
But like,
here.
you listen to these like musicians all the time, like in interviews, be like, oh, I just didn't want to play that show, and it's like, dude, there was 1 million people.
It's like that's, yeah.
You can always look at other people and be like, if I was in your shoes, I would never have that attitude.
Of course, of
but
course.
you
yeah.
would.
Yeah. Yes, actually, well, that's just the thing. I mean, people get used to whatever level of success they have,
And
right?
it doesn't matter what level you're at.
100%. It doesn't change. Like,
And
yeah.
we're at that like super massive level ourselves.
Well, that's just it. I mean, there's so
obviously,
many people that view this that it's just like, it's just like, Jesus, all right, guys, settle down. Like, it's coming, all right? We don't want to let all our millions and millions of people watching. But no, it's, it happens to everybody. Keep in mind that, if you do feel that way, that you're not the only person that does go through those things, but that's just more so some ideas. It's like, try to push yourself, try to change something. Just change something. That's it. Just change something and see if it works. If it doesn't work, change something else.
Or make your bed.
Or make your bed. Exactly.
Because your bed is not good right now. Trust me.
Dude, I'm so bad at making my bed. 34-year-old man.
Oh my God. Don't say that out loud.
Still can't make his bed. It's great. Mom would be so disappointed. Just kidding. She is disappointed.
Shout out to Shady Mom.
Love her to death. Hi, Anita. I think that's it, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
That's it. I think we hit the point. Like, we got the point across. It's, it's changed something. Don't be down on yourself if you're not feeling motivated. Just try to get creative. Think about things you wanted to do. Try to implement little ways to, like, if you have a stream that's just one scene and that small camera and your mic sucks, but you want to be like Dr. Disrespect, You don't have to. It's not in one day.
No, like
Just
do
little tiny steps. Try to
incremental
tune your
improvements.
microphone to sound a touch better. Try to look at different filters for your camera. Anything that can just change it to test things out. Some things work. Some
Steal
things
a lamp
won't.
from your mom's bedroom or your
Absolutely.
living room and put that in your room.
Try
like
to,
just
exactly. One
little
little thing.
things.
Yeah, and just see what people think. So again, some things work, some things won't. But try little things. Just keep improving. You're never done. Get creative. Push yourself. Don't get complacent. Life is sick.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. But honestly, we do appreciate you guys tuning into all these episodes. Again, this is one of those things where it was like, this is what a podcast looks like for two people who like didn't really have an idea about what the hell to talk about. That's been super busy for the last week and just like haven't had a second to breathe. And this is kind of what it turns into. But thankfully, it's a topic that's important to talk about.
Very relevant.
Right. Very, very relevant. I would say relevant to more people than anyone listening realizes. But yeah, thank you again for tuning in. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. If you guys are listening on the audio feeds, then consider following that channel as well. We do post every single Monday, whether we want to or not. Every single Monday. So if you guys did enjoy it, please let us know. We will see you guys next week for episode number 30.
Ooh, the big 3-0.
Baby, let's go. We're almost at my age. I am old and my knees hurt. Goodbye, everyone.
That's for
Love
a
you.
different reason, though. Bye-bye.